In this video, we discuss the safeguards to our liberty and our role in protecting our freedoms. President John Taylor said,
"We see a policy being introduced to listen to the clamor of mobs and of unprincipled men who know not of what they speak, nor whereof they affirm. And when men begin to tear away with impunity one plank after another from our Constitution, by and by we shall find that we are struggling with the wreck and ruin of the system which the forefathers of this nation sought to establish in the interests of humanity. But it is for us still to sustain these glorious principles of liberty bequeathed by the founders of this nation, still to rally round the flag of the Union, still to maintain all correct principles, granting the utmost extent of liberty to all people of all grades and of all nations."
So, how do we go about maintaining all these correct principles and sustaining these glorious principles of liberty? We must understand and use the safeguards that the Lord has inspired to be implemented in the first place.
Fortunately, there are 3 inspired safeguards to protect against this creeping tearing down of constitutional principles. Those who can name the 3 American safeguards of religious freedom in their appropriate primacy order are those who are best prepared to defend and uphold these safeguards in the face of an ever-growing assault on religious freedom. Much has been said regarding political lawsuits over wedding cakes and religious freedom, so let's use the metaphor of a 3-tier wedding cake as an easy way to think of these 3 American safeguards. The 3 safeguards in descending primacy order are the Bill of Rights, a written guarantee; a constitutional republic, a structural guarantee; a moral majority, a foundational guarantee. Notice that each of these American safeguards of political liberty and religious freedom represent 3 distinct kinds of guarantees. The first, written guarantee, resting atop the second; structural guarantee, resting atop the third or foundational guarantee, puts the 3-tier primacy of these guarantees in their proper place. We will review each of these 3 guarantees, beginning with the written guarantee.
Written guarantees play an important role in a civil society. They provide legal and tangible evidence of rights, such as citizenship, marriage relations, ownership of property, business licenses, and many other legally binding documents. Birth certificates, marriage certificates, mortgage deeds, and car titles come immediately to mind. Even something as mundane as a purchased movie ticket is a written document of rights. There can be no written guarantee if the meaning of the words change with evolving popular redefinition. This highlights the importance of an originalist perspective. There is no guarantee of anything without fixed meaning of the original intent. So what written guarantee can we point to in defense of our religious freedom? The Bill of Rights comes directly from the first 2 clauses of the First Amendment. Constitutional scholars refer to these first 2 written guarantees or clauses as the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause.
Congress shall pass no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
As highly valued and magnificent the Bill of Rights is, we must not forget that this written guarantee is the most frail and least substantial of the 3 American safeguards. Without the other 2 safeguards in place, our Bill of Rights could not stand alone.
If anyone doubts the importance of further structural guarantees underlying and enforcing our written guarantees, then as an existential proof, try this simple but deadly experiment. Print out a copy of the Bill of Rights, fold it up and put it in your pocket. Now purchase a one-way ticket to North Korea, Iran, or Syria and see how long you and your folded up Bill of Rights lasts in these hostile lands where such rights are not recognized. Notice the instructions did not include purchasing a round-trip ticket because obviously you won't be needing it. Ask yourself what is missing in these authoritarian regimes.
What is missing in these authoritarian regimes is our second safeguard, a correct structural guarantee, or what we call a constitutional republic based on individual natural rights. Without a proper underlying governmental authority, with enforcement power undergirding the civil society, no written guarantee would be worth the paper it was written on. This constitutional republic was no small accomplishment and was an unparalleled achievement well worth our examining. The inspired nature of the Constitution consists in the ingenious way the Constitution was structured. Never before had such a structural guarantee been devised. So important was this structural guarantee to the framers of the Constitution that they put off the written guarantee or Bill of Rights until after the Constitution had been ratified. There are actually 2 structural guarantees set up by the Founding Fathers.
These 2 structural guarantees are designed to protect our individual liberties by preventing the centralization of an all-powerful government. The framers and ratifiers of the Constitution knew that no Bill of Rights or written guarantee would stand in the way of an all-powerful centralized government. So they did everything possible to prevent this potential monopoly of governmental power from falling into the hands of a despotic ruling class. The first structural guarantee is called federalism. Federalism is the dispersing of overall government power horizontally, with the individual states balancing out the central federal government. The second structural guarantee is the separation of federal powers. Separation of powers is the dispersing of the federal government itself into three separate co-equal sources of power. By separating the three, it makes it three smaller beasts, each keeping an eye on each other, instead of one giant beast keeping an eye on we the people. This is all designed to limit the power of the representative government from becoming tyrannical. This dispersion of federal powers involves checks and balances on each of the three branches of government. The framers and ratifiers of the Constitution were so fearful of despotism that they provided for these numerous checks and balances as additional structural guarantees throughout the federal system. All of these various structural guarantees are what make America a constitutional republic. The addition of the Bill of Rights, or written guarantee, is simply further evidence of the seriousness of the founders' insistence upon safeguarding our individual rights and liberties. If we ever see these inspired checks and balances stop working, that is the warning for we the people to step up politically and intervene to restore the balance of power.
Even with the establishment of a constitutional republic as a structural guarantee, the founders knew that one more indispensable element was needed to truly safeguard our freedoms. The foundational guarantee of a moral majority is the most important of our three American safeguards. As Benjamin Franklin left Independence Hall on the final day of the Constitutional Convention in 1787, he was approached by a Philadelphia woman who asked Dr. Franklin,
"Well, doctor, what have we got? A republic or a monarchy?"
Benjamin Franklin replied,
"A republic, if you can keep it."
The Founding Fathers were well aware that without a foundational guarantee of individual morality, no written guarantee or structural guarantee could last. Our first ever president, in his first inaugural address, confirmed that any government policy rests upon the private morality of its citizens. George Washington said,
"The foundations of our national policy will be laid in the pure and immutable principles of private morality, the preservation of the sacred fire of liberty, and the destiny of the Republican model of government are justly considered as deeply, perhaps as finally staked, on the experiment entrusted to the hands of the American people."
The second president of the United States, John Adams, said,
"Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other."
Our constitutional republic and individual rights depend upon the moral character of the American people. Without a moral people, no society is governable, no matter how many police are put out on the streets to enforce things. What constitutes a moral majority? Morality based on what? Morality must be based on an underlying standard of ethics. We must get ethics right in order to get our politics right. It should be clear by now that the social good definition of justice, which is based on the duty ethics of others over self, leads to collectivism and is not compatible with the natural rights definition of justice, which is based on the individualism of value ethics.
Like our founding fathers, the Book of Mormon prophets left us with both a promise and a warning. Herein lies the warning.
Now it is not common that the voice of the people desireth anything contrary to that which is right. And if the time comes that the voice of the people doth choose iniquity, then is the time that the judgments of God will come upon you. Yea, then is the time he will visit you with great destruction, even as he has hitherto visited this land.
Is choosing collectivism choosing iniquity? Yes. If the majority of people turn to political practices that trample on individual natural rights, we are literally choosing our own destruction from a political system that has historically proven itself to be destructive time and time again. However, if we the people, first, continue to be vigilant, second, continue to revere the Constitution as a divinely inspired document, and third, continue to be a virtuous people, then herein lies the divine promise.
Wherefore this land is consecrated unto him whom he shall bring. And if it so be that they shall serve him according to the commandments which he hath given, it shall be a land of liberty unto them. Wherefore they shall never be brought down into captivity. If so, it shall be because of iniquity. For if iniquity shall abound, cursed shall be the land for their sakes. But unto the righteous it shall be blessed forever.
Notice the conditional nature of the promise. The promise is that as long as we the people are a virtuous people, a vigilant people jealously guarding our liberties, and a people who continue to revere our standard of liberty, the Constitution, as a divinely inspired document, this land will be blessed unto us. Ultimately, then, a virtuous and principled moral majority of American citizens is the foundational guarantee upon which all our liberties rest. In fact, the foundational guarantee could just as easily have been called the Land of Promise Guarantee or the Book of Mormon Guarantee. It all comes down to the same thing. If the majority of the American people remain righteous, liberty and prosperity are assured. If, however, the majority of the American people are far more wicked than righteous, then we shall perish. Those who know this are those who will know how best to defend political liberty and religious freedom in the face of an ever-growing tyranny.
What does this mean for us personally? How do we go about fulfilling our self-interest to protect the freedoms embodied in the Constitution? Elder Quentin Cook said, "When allegations are made that are detrimental and often false to either faith or religious liberty, the members of that faith and their friends of other faiths who feel accountable to God need to defend them in a positive, statesmanlike manner. Too many do not make their positive views known when their engagement is sorely needed." I would suggest that for people of your capability and training, engagement to defend religious liberty is essential. Please do this on your own volition, understanding that you will not always get things exactly right, but also understanding that the far bigger mistake would be to sit silently by. Elder Oaks said,
"Our belief in divine inspiration gives Latter-day Saints a unique responsibility to uphold and defend the United States Constitution and principles of constitutionalism wherever we live. We should trust in the Lord and be positive about this nation's future."
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Christian Eternalism YouTube channel and visit christianeternalism.org